Welcome back to another episode in the Unleash Potential podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Haji, alongside Mr. Almi, Jabbar, and Guled. Another week, man. It's been a tough week, man.
It's been a long week.
It's been wow. I don't even know where to begin. You know, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday was alright, and then
for you,
I got the news on Friday about what happened in New Zealand. May Allah have mercy on all those victims. They were innocently gunned down, man. How did you guys hear about it, and what was your initial thought?
So for the way I first heard about it, because I work nights, right? Yeah. So I woke up in the morning, I just got ready real quick, whatever it was, and then it was actually our group. Yeah. And then I was just looking at our group, what work I'm supposed to do, and then I had one of my friends send me the video. I didn't know what happened. I didn't know what's going on. All I see is this video.
Friday night?
No, Friday morning.
Oh, okay.
Like, because they're ahead of us, Yeah. So I wake up, I'm looking at this video, I'm going like, I did not even expect there's something to happen now. Because there was no caption, there was no message, it was just a video that got sent to me. So I'm looking at this video and I'm shocked. I'm like, yo, man, I'm actually angry at the person that sent it to me. Like, why are you sending me these weird videos online that you're finding? And the next thing you know, it's all over the news and like everyone's talking about it. And I had to head to like Jummah pray and all that. So like it was needed. Like I had a long, tough week already before with some losses and stuff that week. Yeah. So when that news hit, it was like over the top, So
and what was your initial thought? Like, what was your initial
first was the victims. I was wondering how many, the first thing I had was I felt pain.
Following the events.
Yeah. So it was following the events, the victims, and after that, and then once that kind of turned into anger. I got really, really frustrated and angry. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like nothing. This shouldn't be happening at all, sort of thing. So that after that anger and after a while, especially talking to the boys and stuff like that, I kind of calmed down. I was like, yeah, well, that's not going to help anything. Yeah. And then you give a bit of charity, you try to do your best, and then it actually makes you reflect on your life. Yeah. So then you start looking at your goals and how to fix yourself. Like life is short and stuff like that.
Exactly. What about you? I mean, Guled, how did you guys find out?
Well, I found out when I was at work, actually.
Yeah?
Yes, one of the admin girls said, did you hear what happened in New Zealand? Someone gunned down. And I was like, well, at a mosque. And I'm thinking, subhanAllah, it's when? She goes, now. It happened now. Because, like, obviously in the internet, they how these meetings, they update it, and very sad, like, obviously, me being as a Muslim, hearing that story, surrounded by non-Muslims, this is when you realize that your actions speak louder than your words. You actually go back to yourself and say, okay, how can I be a better person? Because our religion is all about Islam, peace. But yeah, I didn't really react to what she said, and I just obviously it didn't sink in until you saw it with your own eyes.
Exactly.
And heard the things like.
And I like that point that you raised, like in that moment of anger, like Islam tells us to be patient.
Absolutely.
All good and bad come from the will of God.
Yep.
We thank God for the good.
Yep.
And we thank Him for the test.
Yep.
And we keep faith to move on, right? So if you were to react in a negative way, and anger in that moment, especially receiving the news from a non-Muslim, that would have sent a completely wrong message.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But the fact that you stayed calm and everything, like, mashallah, that's really good, man.
That's good, man.
You found out at work too, Abi, or were you?
No, I found out from one of the brothers from New Zealand,
Yeah.
Sent me a message and sent me the video. I couldn't believe it, man. I didn't believe it at first. I said, no way, man.
Yeah.
No way. This can't happen in a country like New Zealand,
Yeah.
I think it's the first time happening.
I think it's the first time as well.
First time. I was like, no way. Nah. This. I thought it was out of the game of like Call of Duty or something. I said, nah, bro. What is this video? And then obviously
you look deeper
talk to
into
other people and you go on Facebook, so on and so forth. And subhanAllah, man. It's very saddening, but
it's very close to home as well.
Yeah, man.
I mean, like, New Zealand's our neighboring country.
Yeah.
We know people, or we have people. For me personally, my wife has got some close relatives that were actually one of her cousins' close relative. Allah yarham, passed away in that incident. But like, we all have friends and people that we know that either have friends or family there. We've got Umar Hassan. Like, the first thing that came to all of us as well is like, Umar Hassan being from New Zealand, does he have family there?
Yeah, we mentioned him straight away.
Exactly. They come from Auckland, and it's really like I think a lot of people are focusing on the issue.
Time.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a testing time, but then I think this is testimony to the fact that, you know, we can heal. Like, it is what it is. It doesn't just affect non-Muslims, it affects us too. You know what I mean? But subhanAllah, now it took 49 people to be gunned down at a mosque. 50.
Yeah, it went up.
50 to be gunned down at a mosque for people to start sort of opening up to the fact that Muslims are also affected by terror. You know what I mean? That we are part of the community, you know? And what are some of the pointers that you guys took out of this?
I think any peace-loving person would be affected by this. Any peace-loving,
100%.
whether you're a Muslim or Christian or Catholic, anyone who embraces peace and loves peace would be affected by this, because it happened at a place of worship where people are worshipping, and you know, from young to old, all different generations. Apparently, even one of the brother approached the gunman as he was walking in and greeted him.
Yeah,
you know, and
peace.
greeted him with peace.
Yeah.
You know, it's very sad, but you know, in this world, you get different people. But
he's not a gunman. He's a terrorist.
He's
brother.
absolutely, 100%.
The other day we were sitting down at a cafe with some of the boys, and probably for a good, they were talking about the whole incident and mostly about the gunman. And I left and I came back and they were still talking about the gunman, and I just was like, why are you focusing on
You see how the media go, you guys?
Well, it doesn't matter. Why are you guys focusing on the gunman, man?
He's still saying gunman, bro.
Why are you focusing on the gun? He had a gun. He's a gunman still. He's a shooter. He's a terrorist. He's a gunman as well. Making him a terrorist does not make him a gunman either, right? So, like, why? Like, the 49 people died, 50 people died.
Yeah, we
like,
shouldn't
what
be
are you doing
focusing
now
on him.
to make everything better rather than focusing on?
I think this is what he wants.
Yeah, that's why
This is the whole point he wants. He wants you to forget about the 49 people that passed away and their families.
And think, look at what I did. Look at the video.
Look at what I did.
Like, just ignore him. Forget that video. You know what I mean? Like, the positive. Like, what he did do is unite a lot of people.
Exactly.
A lot of people don't know, like, they look at the Middle East and the Muslims and stuff like that, and they look at ISIS, and they don't know that a lot of the people that they're killing are Muslims in the first place.
Exactly.
It's not just the Western, you know, people they're going after. They're killing majority Muslims. So we've been under terrorist attacks for a long time. And I think this one here, because it was in New Zealand, because it was in a country that people would never have thought that, they're like, okay, this is crazy. Like,
This is
what's
crazy.
going on? Like,
Exactly.
you know,
Exactly.
and it's a little bit of an eye opener. So something positive you can take out of it.
How do we counteract this within our community? Because as you said, and when I first asked you what your initial reaction was versus the reaction that logic and your religion and your principles taught you, first initial reaction that anybody would have, like Guled said, any peace-loving person would have, is frustration, anger.
Yeah.
That this incident claimed so many innocent lives. You know what I mean? And it could have been anywhere. All right, anywhere, any place, in anybody, to be honest, right? But then, what quells that anger, especially with, like within the Muslim community, alhamdulillah, like Islam is really all about peace, right? But then I think a really important thing is for the non-Muslims. Like, I think this incident helped them realize that Muslims are part of the community. We are the community too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we're not different to anybody walking outside. You know what I mean? Your differences in religion shouldn't dictate whether you're part of the community or not. And I think that's what's happening now. I came across one of these Instagram pages. I can't remember the name right now, but they had posts dedicated to all the victims, who they were and what they did and everything. And I'm reading each post, and it's like everyday people had their own lives going on, careers, ambitions. The one thought that really hit my mind, and it's still ringing till this moment, is life is not guaranteed for anybody. Tomorrow's never guaranteed. So what am I leaving behind? What am I doing now? What am I changing now? So that if I do not wake up tomorrow, what have I left behind? What is my legacy? What am I leaving behind? At the end of the day, money, you don't take it with you. Wealth, you don't take it with you. Family leave you behind. They put you in a hole and walk away. What are you leaving behind? What is your legacy? What are you going to be remembered by? a lot of these people, like, some of them started mosques, you know, some of them started charity organizations. Like, there's something for them to be remembered by.
Yeah.
They contributed to humanity, to society, you know what I mean, to their community.
Absolutely.
What are we doing? What am I doing? What are you doing? What are our viewers doing? What do we plan to change now? You know what I mean? Like,
change yourself, I think, is the first thing. Start from
Yes.
yourself. Through your
100%.
actions, fix yourself, better yourself into becoming a better person, so that when you leave this world, people remember you for who you are. Then, if you can do the rest by helping the community and doing other things, but you can't help the community if you're not bettering yourself.
Yeah.
So
So if you're not a part of the community as well, because
Yeah.
it's not easy bettering yourself. You know what I mean? Especially at a time like this, it's not easy to go through it.
Yeah.
But going through it with a group of people, with a community, you know, it makes it easier as well.
but then I think despite all of this, I think there's going to be quite a bit of segregation and integration at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of
Oh.
people will shut their doors down and say, yo, I'm not safe here anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not, you know what I mean? And really block themselves.
Mm.
And there will be those people that actually really connect with the community connects with them. Like, I don't know if you guys seen the posts of like the non-Muslim guys standing outside the mosques with the signs, we're your friends. You know, like, it's really beautiful to see that. But then the downside is there's going to be a lot of people that shelter themselves now, even more, like, really. And I think that's really dangerous.
The thing is, they got to remember is like with Australia and New Zealand, you see what happened, you know. It's only a small minority of people, you know,
Yeah.
as the Galway did. It's just a small percentage. Most Australians and New Zealanders and Westerners are very accepting of your religion, of your culture. And the thing is, don't have that mentality. You shouldn't have that mentality. Oh, if one's like that, they're all like that.
Exactly.
You
I
know
like
what I
that.
mean?
Yeah.
They're not all like that.
Exactly.
99% of Australians that I've met
Yeah.
are legends, bro.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They're very accepting, you know, very kind, very generous people, you know?
And the other way around too. If
Yeah.
you see a Muslim brother doing harm to other people,
Yeah.
don't expect all Muslims like that, right?
Yeah.
You know?
It doesn't work like
Because
that.
what the population of Muslims in the world, what 1.7 billion people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 1.7 billion people. If you expect one person to be like that, almost,
Exactly.
It doesn't
you know,
work like that, bro.
this whole world will not be safe if 1.7 billion people. are not.
Exactly.
So I like that. Yeah. So it's not just because of that Australian,
I mean,
arrogant person did that.
it's not just the posts and everything we see. I don't know about you guys in your day-to-day lives after this incident. Like, because at work, they know that I have acquaintances and friends in New Zealand. And like Haji said, I went to work. And the first thing was like, look, you don't have to be here if you don't want to be here. Like, you can go home, you can take a day off. You want to, like, you don't have annual leave, it doesn't matter. Like, you know what I mean? Like, anything you need. They're like that supportive. And it wasn't, to his point, it wasn't because of this incident they started being nice. They were like this the whole time at work. You know what I mean? Like, the majority of the people aren't like this guy was or filled with hate. You know what I mean? So we should not react in anger, because you got to understand, the guy that did this, he did this in hatred and anger. That's what that's why he did this. And now if we now get angry because of it and then act in hatred and anger, we're not better than he is.
Problems never solved.
You know?
Two wrongs don't make a right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to be better than the person that has done this. What are some positives that we can take away from this?
Well, we got the spreading of the information, so a lot of people are now more aware of the situation and how the Muslim community is actually a community in society. There's a unification, because a lot of times when stuff like this happen, everyone comes together. Like, you guys been to the mosque, and you know what I mean? And not just the Muslim community, like the Australian, the global community in general.
Exactly.
How the
comes
Muslim
together.
community reacted.
Yeah.
They didn't react in anger
No.
or
Retaliation.
retaliation.
And then it's not even that. Anyone that was, let's say, overwhelmed with emotion and did act in anger or were about to, they got stopped straight away.
Exactly.
There was one of his brothers or a friend or something going like, "No, don't do that. You're being silly." You know what I mean?
And because the whole world really aches and sympathizes with Islam now, as opposed to what was going on beforehand, like, a lot of people would be now more comfortable to really say out loud that they are Muslims and be proud Muslims outside. You know what I mean? I think the whole statement of beat hate with love is real and evident right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You conquer hate with love. You don't conquer it with hate. because it just breeds more hate.
A principal taught us that he drilled that into
exactly.
us.
Exactly.
I don't know if you
like
remember,
that.
I don't know if you. I don't think you were there at the. He used to say let's say you got into a fight with someone, right? You got into a little argument and he threw a punch. He threw the punch first. He clocked you. You know you're angry at him, right? You come the next day with a box of chocolates and go, sorry man, whatever I did to make you angry to punch me, I'm sorry, I forgive you. That dude, how would he react to you? You know what
Friends
I mean?
for life are made
like,
there.
he'll be like, that's that's crazy, but no one's ever done that. And you know, like a lot of friendships I have started off very rocky. You know what I mean?
You have a fight first.
The
teacher makes you shake hands, and then
you're having a laugh afterwards. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
But you know, you keep hearing the word Islamophobia. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people are afraid of Islam and stuff like that. From my personal experiences, a lot of people that think they know about the religion don't. Like, you have that guy at work that will talk to you about the religion, or he will, he'll know you're Muslim the whole time, and you know, he'll see something on the news and he'll comment on it, or he'll always have his own opinion. But when you tell him it's time to pray, he's like, "Oh, you guys pray?" Or it's Ramadan, I'm fasting. He's like,
"Why are you fasting?"
You know what I mean? They don't know this sort of stuff. So it's like, if you don't know the basics of what our religion is, yet you're forming opinions, and it's kind of scary when you think about people in power doing that, that make laws and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So
you also get the odd one or two that ask you questions just for the sake of asking. And I think that's going to happen a lot now. Just be patient with it and answer the questions.
At work, there's a guy named Martin. He's one of our supervisors there. And I mean, he even comes up, I got a Islamic question of the week. And he'll just come to me and he'll ask me a question. Just so he wants to know. You know, he wants to learn more and stuff like that. And actually, there's quite a few people that do that. And they're just literally doing it because there's a guy at work, he's a Muslim and he's educated. So I at least have someone to really get the information.
Exactly.
He's at that level. But there's other people that they don't do that. It's whatever they see on the media or whatever they hear from their friends.
Not only that, it's also important that you should learn your religion as well. Giving false information is toxic and it's dangerous.
And I reckon the biggest thing, people give false information because they don't have the information. Sometimes just be quiet. If you don't know, just say, look, I'm not sure, I don't know. Or I'll get back to you. Like, I want to be specific about it. In my religion, you can't, give false information. I'll come back to you.
I want to ask you a question. I don't know if it's happened to you guys at your workplace, but it's happened to some people I know where, for example, you've got a Muslim manager in place. And this Muslim manager doesn't pray, doesn't go for the prayers, right? They just work, they're Muslim. Ramadan comes, they fast, they don't eat, but they don't pray, right? And then somebody comes along to the job and they want to pray. And so the other managers and your colleagues are like, but so-and-so doesn't pray and they're Muslim, why are you praying? You know what I mean? It's really, it really puts you in a situation. You know what I mean?
Does.
So it's you got to learn your religion properly, and don't be afraid to answer questions. Have a dialogue, because education is what will really make Islamophobia subside. If people know about your religion, because half the time, if you look at these people that are angry all the time and against Islam and yada yada yada, when you tell them, hang on, that's not how we do it, they tell you, okay, so how is it? There was a guy that was walking around, I think the streets of London or somewhere in America, I think, and he took the Bible, for example, and he put the Quran's cover on it, and it was reading scriptures about war, and it was some brutal stuff. And he was like, this is what the Quran says. What do you think about it? All right? And people were like, that's why we were trying to get rid of the Muslims. You know what I mean? And then he takes off the cover. And it's like, this is what your Bible says. There must have been some sort of context. Read the context to me. You know what I mean? Like, it's got to be fair on both sides, and not just to criticize other religions, but the same with Muslims as well. Like, if somebody comes and asks you a question, don't take it as if they're trying to interrogate you. They probably just want to know a bit more so they can form their own opinion. Because what is the first thing that imams and people say? If you want to know about Islam, go talk to a Muslim. But when they come and talk to you, if you turn them away, refuse, you know what I mean? How are they going to ever know?
I don't know if you guys ever had someone come up to you, because I used to, at uni, we used to pray all the time. Because there was quite a few Muslim boys at the uni, so we used to pray and be on time all the time. And I used to, be cool with everyone. And one of my friends at uni, well, wasn't a friend, but he comes up to me, he's talking about Islam and what's going on in the news and stuff like that. And he said something negative about Islam and the Muslims, and I gave him that look like, what's going on? And he goes, no, not a Muslim like you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
not a Muslim like you.
Yeah.
The ones he sees on TV. Like, he sees it as, like, completely separate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I go, no, you gotta understand. Like,
They're
that's
not
how
Muslims.
it is. Yeah. And I explained it to him, like,
Yeah.
this is the basic of religion. This is what we can and can't do.
Yeah.
And he goes, but they're doing it. I go, just because someone's doing something in the name of something doesn't make it right. The analogy I gave him is if I call myself a vegan or a vegetarian, but I eat meat on Wednesdays, am I a vegan?
Yeah. No.
Am I a vegan if I
No.
eat meat on Wednesdays? but
Speaking of
call
actually
myself
vegan, at work, the manager every now and then he kind of spoils us. He gets us lunch, you know. And so this one time he bought lunch and he came up to me and he goes, "Gee, there's lunch in the lunchroom. Help yourself." And I said, "All right, no worries." And then all the other workers came up to me and he goes, "Gee, don't go. There's bacon in it, you know.
Yeah.
There's bacon in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they know we Muslims we don't
Exactly.
eat bacon or
But they
pork."
would have known if you hadn't
And
told them.
the manager knew, but he forgot about it. He came up to me, "Sorry, gee, I forgot about it. Totally forgot about it. Tomorrow, don't worry, lunch is on me." You know, because they know
Yeah.
through your actions that
exactly.
you don't eat
Exactly.
bacon or pork,
Exactly.
and that they have that respect for you. You know,
Yeah.
they even say to you sometimes some of them say to you like, "Is it alright if I eat my bacon and pork next to you?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and
Because it's not about really religion. It's just about being a decent human being.
just this.
That's what it comes down to.
It's about your character.
That's how Islam spread.
It's
Exactly.
just like when you go
Akhlaq from the character.
Exactly.
It's just
the
like
way
when
they-
someone
the way
invites
they-
you to their house. Someone invites you to their house, and then usually say you walk into your house in the front until you get to like say to the living room with your shoes on. But I mean, you're gonna ask the person
Yeah,
with
is that
out of
alright to
respect,
come with
is
shoes?
it alright if I come with my shoes on, or should I just, you know, because it's his way, it's his
Exactly.
house, you know. It's the same with the religion, you know. Even if you're going to speaking to a Christian, you're gonna ask things so that you don't be disrespectful to him.
Exactly.
So
Now and
educate yourself, I think.
to talk about your point of representation, I was listening to this interview about this one Muslim guy who reverted, became Muslim, and he was talking about representation, and it's like if these terrorists or ISIS or whatever it is represent Islam, is like then the KKK represent Christianity, and we all know that's not true.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, don't paint everybody with the same brush. You know, you look at 1.5 billion people that are Muslims that practice this religion. If they all had the ideology of these few, the world would have been pretty much over.
There wouldn't
1.5 billion people trying to.
There wouldn't be 1.5 billion people in the first place.
Exactly.
If that was their views.
You know what I mean? And the same with what just happened now. Like, you don't see Muslims condemning any religion.
Yeah. Well, the guy was Australian.
Exactly.
We live in Australia.
We live
I'm
in
not
Australia
walking
right
around
here.
yelling at
And
Australians.
yeah, you know,
it's not happening.
saying, you know, you whatever Australians, whatever religion he might have followed, you never know. He might have been a devout Christian, Catholic, Jew, Hindu, whatever it is, but you don't see any Muslim targeting his religion.
Yeah.
You target the person's ideals.
That was his
and
character, his actions.
Exactly, his actions.
I think we got to be very careful of our own as well, because the thing is, a lot of people, you might be perfect all week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like representing Islam, being
Yeah.
the best you all week.
Yeah.
But that Friday comes, it's a really busy day. It's really hectic. You're wearing, you know, your khamis, the
Yeah.
thobe. You're walking out. Someone cuts you off,
And you go raging,
off,
yeah.
That person does not know about your whole week.
He
doesn't
just
know about
sees-
your whole day. He just saw you, some guy that looks like a Muslim, going off. in
That's
the car.
it.
You know what I mean?
That's it.
And then that's his view of it. And if that guy doesn't have Muslim friends or he's not in that Muslim community,
Exactly.
like, their experiences are what matters to them the most.
Which
So,
then again leads us to our actions.
yeah, so
and
you
how
gotta
we
be very
react to that.
careful.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Which is why I asked you guys first. What was your initial thought?
I think we're
Straight. You know what I mean?
I think living in Australia, I think we're lucky enough to be living in a very multicultural country. We're surrounded by different races, and Australians here, you find a lot of Australian Muslims too here.
Oh yeah.
You know, in the time of living here, I've never had anyone who said bad things to me about my religion. You know, even walking with your parents. You know, our mums are covered, our dads wearing khamis. We never get told any negative. But that doesn't say you're not going to come across it.
Comes
Yeah.
across
You know,
it, but very,
maybe-
very rare. Yeah.
So
Maybe
Times like
very
this.
subtle
Yeah.
yeah,
things, but
maybe
that's about it.
But it's also you gotta think some of them are scared to do it out front because they know that they'll be judged by the
By
community.
everybody else.
That's how
Maybe
well the community
by
is
this
here.
happening in New Zealand,
Yeah.
who knows? There's probably another 10 more people who come out because of this. you know.
Yeah.
So this is when we,
as a community,
should bond together.
Yeah.
And not only the Muslim community, just all other religious race people just should.
No, but see, that's the point I'm trying to make. Like you've got the Muslim community, but then you've got the Australian community or the British community, wherever you live. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to understand that we're not a separate community. We are the community.
We are the community.
Part of the community.
We are part of the community.
You know,
when one is hurting, everyone's hurting.
Exactly. A problem comes when we start segregating ourselves as our community and everybody else. But we are all one community. We all live here. We all go to the same jobs. We all go to the same schools. We get sick. We go to the same hospital. You know.
I think that's a problem that we have in this community. Like
exactly.
Like I like to talk
I like that. We're all one community.
I like to talk politics sometimes, and I'm like, yo, the election's coming up. You know, this person, and they're like, politics doesn't matter to me. I'm like, you live in this country. Like, it's gonna affect your work.
Exactly.
You know,
everything.
Absolutely.
And then what happens is when something doesn't go their way, then they get angry. I was like, you weren't.
But you haven't voiced.
You weren't part of the whole. You weren't part of the decision making process. You were supposed to be.
Yeah.
You were supposed to be part of the community, but you weren't. And now when a decision is made or when something happens, you want to go, oh, look at me. It's like
when you had a time to have a say.
Exactly.
Yeah, a chance to have it. Yeah.
So after we should be speaking up and actually uniting together at this
as a one community.
As one community. You know, start small. I reckon that's the easiest way. Start with yourself, then your family and your friends, and then the community around you, your suburbs, your neighbors. Make sure your neighbors are okay. You know, we are Muslim.
Your work colleagues.
And then work outwards. You know.
Yeah.
See, but that's the beautiful thing. The way Islam tells you. Especially in the Quran, it says, "Ya ayyuhan nas qu anfusakum wa ahlikum wa quduha an-nas wal hijara." All you people, save yourselves and your families, and then everybody else. So always work on yourself first, then those closest to you, and continue on that way.
It's where you have the
because if everybody looks inwards first, by the time they start looking at the families, everybody's on the same level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't expect to change you if I'm not already living what I'm trying to preach.
Absolutely.
It's not even that. So who do you have the most influence of? First is yourself.
Exactly.
Right? You have the most, and then it's your family and your close friends.
Exactly.
So if you're trying to yell and preach at someone in a different country about some policies that's going on, and your family or your life's a mess, you're just wasting your time.
It's like your manager telling you about coming work on time, but he's not coming to work on time.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Who knows a story about that?
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
exactly.
It's you start. It's easier to start from yourself.
Start with example.
Example. Yeah. Be the example.
Yeah.
You know.
100%. You know, the funny thing is, these people, you know, done all these stupid acts. They think, obviously, there's hate towards us, so on and so forth. But I think this is going to disunite us, but this actually makes us stronger. Another thing about Islam, we're not blood related, but you're my brother in Islam.
Exactly.
That sister might not be blood related, but she's my sister in Islam.
Exactly.
If I'm like driving in, say for example, her tire popped or
exactly.
so on, I'm going to pull over.
Yeah.
You know, because that's why Islam teaches us that.
Exactly.
That bonding
exactly.
together, you know. Brothers and sisters, we all believe in La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah at the end of the day, you know. So
no, I like that. Exactly. It's like there's this bond that's greater than just friendship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, man.
It's tough times, but it's also times where we have to unite and like how do you say, start from yourself, work from your family, then work with the community.
I think it's realistic times. I just read somewhere where I think the war in Syria has taken 350,000 lives. You know, the whole time of the war. Has that affected you as much as this incident has? As the 50 people have?
No.
That was because it seems so far away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like this isn't something new. Like globally what's happening to the Muslim
but
community.
I think for us now, this is like pretty much home.
Yeah. So it hit home now and we got to do something about it, you know?
But then, okay, now the question I want to ask, and I think it's a really important question. Everybody's determined now to do better, you know, because especially for a lot of people that I know now, it's either close to home or home, you know what I mean? But then a week from now, are you just going to forget about it? And is it just going to be a number added to that number along with Syria?
Yeah.
Or is it going to actually impact you to do something with your life? You know what I mean?
It has to impact
a lot
you.
of people have, after incidents like this, they have grand goals.
Yeah.
Their goals go from, oh man, I have to do something serious to, you know.
Yeah.
And then they'll have these goals up here and then you're like, you got to work late, you know what I mean? You didn't cook your lunch, you didn't do, like, you're not doing the smallest of tasks properly. Yet you have this goal that's shooting all the way up here, you know what I mean? So just start off small, like, you know, but you can't stop. Like, you can't stop. Like, that's what it is. Like, it's a treadmill. You got to keep moving. The second you stop, you're going backwards. You know what I mean?
You're regressing.
It doesn't matter how much times you fall or trip, you know, like, if you mess up, it's fine, like, because that's what it is that fear to failure. They have these goals that are so grand. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. A week later, no one's talking about it again. They failed at it, and they're right back in the old routine. So,
and
as Muslims, you have to, you know, that's right, change. And this is what happened in New Zealand, you know. May Allah have mercy on them, give them Jannah for those. This is a testament of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know. And it's
in the Quran, it states that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tests you. And these tests can be through your families, your friends,
your work, your money,
your relationship. And it's how you respond to that test that really defines you as a person.
And a lot of people,
it makes you strong as a person.
A lot of people see these tests that happen, especially if it's a hard test, as a punishment. But you got to understand, the harder the test is, it's the better the reward you get afterwards. The best of us get tested the hardest. So if you look at the prophets, they got tested the most. They went through the most hardships. So you got to understand, when you see something like this, rather than seeing it as such a negative, such a down, and go, look, this might be a test. It might be like a reminder that I need to change. I need to do something. So, like, you got to put your best foot forward.
And Allah always tests someone
that He loves.
And He doesn't test them over the limit.
Then what they can burden,
Exactly.
Nah, man. I think what happened in New Zealand is a tragedy. I think we can all agree on that. Would like to send our condolences to the families.
To everyone.
May Allah grant the victims Jannah. May Allah forgive their sins. May Allah grant the families the strength and will to carry on and move on. And the community, mashallah, is doing a really good job in helping out and supporting out. Make sure you guys do your part if you can. I think I
actually want to leave off on one thing.
Yep.
I reckon, to sum it all up, it would be best if the incident that happened, the lady that you were talking about the other day, the post that you showed, where she jumped in front of her husband and the husband she'd passed away and the husband lived. And we were thinking, what would happen if we were in that situation where your wife or your partner dies by saving your life? You cannot waste another minute in your life.
No, your life cannot be lived in vain.
You cannot
spared their life,
knowing that she gave your life up, her life for yours. Now, how are you going to waste it?
Put it this way, you have to live for two people now. Your life has to count for two people.
So we should all be living like that.
Exactly. Take this incident to be that unfortunate but real situation and that wake up call that I think we all need.
And we're probably gonna have links in the description so you guys can donate and help.
Definitely.
You know? So
And on that note, man, stay tuned, be well, be safe. Inshallah, catch you guys next week.
Peace.